Okay, hey everyone, it's Wally Dellenbach, and I'm going to present to you a project that might be worthy of your consideration. And what I've got here is a Ludwig, an authentic Ludwig Zeppelin reissue kit. I think it's an L8264LX47 in the catalog. Amber Vistalite in 14, 16, 18, 14 by 26 with a LM402. And what I'm going to do on this set, or what I'm in the throes of doing, is I'm replacing. Now, if you've bought one of these kits, you might have either the rubber gaskets or felt gaskets underneath your classic lugs. And I've got to tell you, I'm really disappointed with the sound of the 10 by 14. It seems a little bit muffled to me, and I blame it on the rubber gaskets. I got rubber gaskets on this, so I'm going to exchange those gaskets for the plastic. I think these are Mylar gaskets, so these are the white Mylar, and they're kind of hard to find. Now, where I get them from is I get them from Romano Catone at RCI. Okay, now you're going to say to yourself, well, those are authentic Chicago hardware, you know, OEM, I think it's called, original equipment manufacturer. So what I have here is I have original Chicago, and then I have an RCI one, original Chicago RCI. So I'll bring it up to the camera, let you see it. So here we go. So these are for classic large lugs, and one is classic Chicago Ludwig, and the other one is RCI, and these are identical. Okay, you can lay these on top of each other, and the profile is it's identical. Okay, so you can get these at RCI. You'll need a total to do a ZEP reissue set, 72 of them. Okay, now the only difference is that the classic Chicago Ludwig, they're a little bit thicker, okay, which means they're a little bit more opaque, so meaning that you can't see through them as much, so, or as well. So there you go. Okay, now back to the project. So the goal is to try to get some more a better sound out of my kit, because I gotta tell you, the 10 by 14 tom with 8 lugs on it with the rubber gasket, to me, the rubber gaskets are nothing more than drum or shell mufflers, okay? Meaning that they dampen your sound. So I've just, to prove my point before I decided I was going to shoot this video, was to change these out to see how it worked, and to see if it was even a project worth doing. So what I've done, and you might want to, I don't know how long you've had your kit, or, you know, now is the perfect time if you decide to do a project like this to go ahead and take your kit apart and just go ahead and do some cleaning on it, some buffing. And we'll go through that. And so anyway, back to the 10 by 14 tom. So what I've done is I've taken the tom apart, and I ordered some of these lug gaskets, 72 of them. And I did my 10 by 14 tom, and now I have Remo pinstripes on the top, and you know, I like the way they feel, so good rock and roll heads. But anyway, it's, to me, now you might say that I'm pissing in the wind on this one. To me, it sounds better, okay? Like I said, I believe in listening to this kit compared to other Vistalite kits that I have. I seriously believe that the rubber gaskets are shell mufflers. So, in my opinion, I don't have a sound lab or anything like that, but the projection on this tom is increased dramatically. It actually sounds like a real Vistalite tom now. Okay? Meaning that compared to the two floor toms and the bass drum, when I used to come around and do rolls on this and come off the tom always seemed kind of muted. So that was the motivation behind doing this project. Okay, so the tom is complete, and what I've done is I've taken it apart And the tools that you'll need, of course, to do this job is a drum key, and then what I use is a 1/4-inch socket on a screwdriver handle, and just take your drum apart, do a little TLC. Now, for polishing, okay, let's talk about this because I've made several videos about Vistalite acrylic drum shell polishing, and I want to clarify one thing off of the bat. Okay, gosh, put these glasses up here. Scratches on acrylic, okay? I don't advise you to sand down any kind of scratches on your acrylic drum shells, and I'll make this comparison. So a scratch on an acrylic drum shell. So people get fanatic and they want to sand it and make it look like new and buff it. Okay, so imagine this, a scratch on an acrylic drum shell. Say you've got a cut on your hand or wherever, and so you've got a cut. We'll liken this to a scratch on the drum. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to take maybe some wet, dry sandpaper and sand that, and then buff it. Okay, so you don't know really how deep that scratch is. My advice is only to buff it. Just leave the scratch alone and just buff it and call it. Because, okay, so let's go back to this cut on the skin. So you've got a cut on your skin, and now what you're going to do is you're going to take sandpaper and you're going to sand your skin away. Okay? Now the way I understand it is that acrylic shells have this protective coating on the outside, your skin. Okay? And so you remove your skin and you're opening yourself up for just disaster. Okay? Now I've got a video about crazing, do-it-yourself modifications and crazing and what to do and what not to do, what kind of cleaners to use, all right? So don't do it. Just buff it and just, you know, appreciate the scratch for what it is. It's just a road scar, and that's enough, okay? Now, so you take this apart and never use ammonia or alcohol-based cleaners on your drums, okay? Use like a warm, wet washcloth, clean off the dust, and then what I do is I use this product I found, and it's kind of common in the drumming community for acrylic drummers. I think it's Novice or Nuvo, I don't know how to pronounce it, and I really don't care. It's a really good product, and it comes in 3 bottles. The third one is for heavy scratches, number 2 is for medium to light scratches, and then they have like a polish, okay? Now, you can also use, RCI has a formulated polish for acrylic drums. Now, I talked about do-it-yourself projects and crazing and alcohol and ammonia-based cleaners. So the RCI polish is that it's formulated for acrylic drum shells, meaning that it doesn't have any of the astringents or chemical cleaners that might cause crazing, okay? That's why I'm pushing that product, all right? So, anyway, so we want to clean our shells with a warm, moist, hot water, warm water, soft towel, get all the dust and any kind of goop off of it. Go out and buy this product, you can get it on Amazon, and I've got a 5-inch orbital buffer with like a very soft wool shell or wool bonnet, and you'll just apply that, buff it, just watch some of my buffing videos, and it's good to go. Now, with all the videos that I do, I try to pass on a little bit, a nugget of wisdom and knowledge. So this is the Ludwig, authentic Ludwig reissue kit, and it's, I don't know how old it is, I've not dated it, and I don't care. But I do know that the shells are American made, they're not RCI shells. I believe like this was probably first generation maybe Ludwig reissue, and because the shells are made by what was Golden Times, now they're called Customs. They do their Tequila Sunrise, Ludwig's Tequila Sunrise right now, their reissue. Now, I'm going to pass on this little bit of nugget of wisdom for you. The LM402, aluminum chrome plated shell. Now, what some people are doing, and this is an example of it because I've got one, somebody took the LM402 and they drilled and put a Ludwig muffler on there. And they did just a crappy, terrible job. Shame on them. okay? Now, what's the giveaway besides the muffler? Because Ludwig doesn't make LM402s with mufflers on them anymore, okay? The giveaway is that, first of all, it's got a newer, now I call these LM402 reissues, and the reason why I call them a reissue is because they got the reissue blue and olive badge, and Ludwig did that for the rebirth of the introduction of the acrylic drum shells again, okay? So, trouble already, right? Now, how you can tell is when you look at the badge, the aluminum badge is very shiny, of course, and it's got a round, it's blue and olive, but the dead giveaway is the sheen on the aluminum. It's very shiny, and another thing too is going to be the grommet. Okay, I mean, it looks perfect. It looks new. It's got a high shine to it, versus the old Chicago Ludwig badge, which is aluminum, and you'll see a little oxidation on it. Another thing too is that when they stamp these out, there's kind of like a tab break on each side, because these were made in progressive die stamping machines. Okay, so they're like in a string, you know. So you just break them off, and they'll be singular pieces. Okay, so that's one of the giveaways. Another one is that it's got a millennial butt on it. Okay, so it's unlike the old style butt. So Ludwig puts these new millennial butts on, and of course the strainer won't have the black decal with the Ludwig on the thrower. Okay, so keep aware of that, because the guy that I got this set from, God bless him, you know, he kind of drove a hard bargain on this kit, but he was bragging on the fact that, you know, this was a classic snare drum, and it's not. Okay, it's somebody's Frankenstein, and they kind of screwed it up by putting, in my opinion. I personally don't see the need for mufflers anymore with the hit technology, so that's probably why they don't put mufflers on drums anymore. And mufflers kind of sound like crap anyway. Alright, so that's basically it. And now what I've got here too, which is pretty cool that I'm going to put on this kit, is I've got myself a 3-ring bottom cymbal, and once I get myself a drum head, because the 26-inch drum head that I have on it now, let me pull this thing out, is got this port on it, mic port, and there's no way to get that cymbal pasted on here. So I've got that going on, and it's going to be a worthy project. I've got the bass drum taken apart right now, and it's all cleaned up. It's ready to be buffed. I've got the hardware laying over here. For details on buffing, I'm not going to beat on that in this video. I just wanted to introduce this project to you for your consideration, for those of you that have the new Ludwig Vistalite reissue sets. So it's something to consider, and you know, I'm going to tell you that changing these lug gaskets out, I'm just on this 10x14, from the rubber to the Mylar, the white gasket, has dramatically perfected the sound of this tom. Okay, it sounds better, projects better, and it sounds like a Vistalite tom. Too bad it's got 8 lugs. I wish they had 6 on it. But also what you get with that too is that old Chicago classic look of the white Mylar gasket. Okay. Gosh, with that, everyone, I'm going to sign off. Oh, by the way, I got these. I've got, for those of you that might have seen the video, I've got 4 reissue sets. 2 of them are RCI, and 2 of them are Chicago, or I'm sorry, Monroe Ludwig. Okay. So I've got these decals. I've got one for a 26, one for a 24, and one for a 22. Okay, one of the sets I'm just going to leave alone. But I get these decals from a fellow in Florida, and his name is Alan Walker, and he's a friend of mine on Facebook. So Alan, a little shout. I hope you don't mind me using your name. Yeah, this is the guy I get them from, and there's also a couple videos on putting on vinyl stickers, and there's a trick to it, and I didn't know that, but I understand from watching this video that if you use some soapy in a spray bottle, soap water, like a little bit of dish detergent, and then a burnishing tool, and you'll put that sticker on and not get any kind of air bubbles up underneath it. So with that, our Ludwig project, of course, and everybody take care. Thanks for watching, taking time out of your day to watch this video. I hope it was informative, and we'll give you something to consider for your own set. So until next time, everybody, peace, take care, thanks for watching, and have a good weekend. Bye.